different things. This third week of Advent, we light the rose-colored candle, and it always is a time for me to step back and to reflect upon joy and how, as Christians, we're called to be people of joy. However, in this year of 2020, which has been very difficult, I must say that it's difficult sometimes for me to somehow tell other people or preach that we are to be joyful. That no matter what, we have this rose-colored candle, and as Christians, we're called to be joyful. And it reminds me of that famous story of St. Francis of perfect joy, where some of the brothers asked St. Francis, explain to us, Francis, what is perfect joy? Is it that we're able to convert all these people to Christianity? Is it that we're able to speak many languages? Is that we're going to be successful in some way? And therefore, we are to be joyful for whatever we are, successful, the good things that happen in our lives. And St. Francis famously tells these brothers, no. It's when you come to a house, even a friary where the friars are, and the doorkeeper opens up the door and says, I don't know you. And even though it's a cold and snowy night, will send you away out into the cold. And if at that moment you can know the peace of Christ in your heart, you can continue on trusting in God, it's that moment that we receive perfect joy. Because no matter what happens around us, even in the darkest of nights, even in a year that has been very difficult as 2020, yet there is still a glimmer of hope in this Advent season that God is still with us. That even though we may not seem like there's any way out of the various things that we have in our world and in our lives, these tragedies, these moments of real difficulty, yet we know that God still loves us. God still walks with us. Jesus is this light for those who walk in darkness, as we read in the prophet Isaiah. And as St. Francis says, if we're able to, this Christmas season, welcome Jesus into this chaos of the world today, into perhaps the darkest parts of our own lives and hearts, and know that we are not alone. Know that there's something greater. There's a higher power than perhaps the struggles that we face in our lives. And that God continues to love us and call us to himself, and that Jesus became man so that we don't have to walk alone. If at that moment we find that peace, we find that hope, and we do walk with God, there is perfect joy. So my brothers and sisters, in this Advent season, moving toward Christmas, we do find joy. Perhaps not in the fleeting things of this world, not of the temporary happinesses that we can experience, but in Jesus, knowing that he is Emmanuel, God with us, and he will continue to walk with us and be our light on our journey. And that is perfect joy. God bless you.